everybody.
Try again. It was muted. Now say hello.
Hello, everybody. We have Michael here working the cameras.
Well, hello, everybody.
And welcome to our live paint along where we are painting an art hug or an art card for our friend Liam. This is what we're painting today. Firefly Forest. It's so wonderful to see your beautiful faces, or to see your beautiful names, I guess, because it's been a while since we've done a live.
It has been.
And the last time we did a live, our internet really struggled. And so we're really hoping that tonight goes smooth.
Yeah. The internet is terrible in Missouri, so
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
Oh, I see me freezing up a lot.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Dang.
Well, we'll see how it goes. It's as good as it's going to be, you guys.
Okay. Well, I see Marcy, I see Leslie, I see Rachel, I see Jill. Hello, thank you so much for being here. There's definitely more on YouTube as well. Okay, so for our Let's Make Art Matter, if you don't know what that is, every month we get together as a art community and we paint a postcard or a card for someone. Okay. It's just our way of letting someone know that we're thinking about them, and that's the whole point, just to let them know we're thinking about them. Which, you know, when people are dealing with very heavy things, sometimes it feels kind of silly, like what is a hand-painted card going to do for somebody? But it's not about being able to solve their problem or think that it's going to like help their problem. It's more about just being willing to sit with someone during that. That's it. That's all it's about. And so, anyways, I am really excited to do these. And so our recipient this month is Liam. They are actually starting a very big milestone where they're going to start their senior year in August, which is like kind of a really big deal. And it's been a few years since they were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. They also are on the autistic spectrum, and so there's just, you know, some anxiety in terms of like social things, and so we just wanted to send an art hug to Liam to let them know they're perfect just the way that they are, which I'm really excited about. And actually Liam's mom nominated them, and she sent in photos of how Liam's mom is a llama. She paints with us, and she did some national parks, and then together they went to national parks, and then they would hand out, she would make prints of the national parks that she painted with Let's Make Art. They would make prints and then hand them out to like the park rangers or people who were there and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was like such a cool activity to do together. And so I thought it'd be really cool if we painted. The original idea was like redwoods, because I'm going to see the redwoods soon and I'm really excited about that. And then I was thinking about fireflies. And then I remember I did this painting which didn't make it into the June box, but I loved it so much that I was just like, this is perfect to send to Liam. So this is what we're painting. We're doing a kind of firefly forest-ish themed painting, and we're going to do it in 5 steps. So our very first step is we're going to do a super loose sketch just to basic put our trees in. That's it, just like our trunks and stuff. Our second step is we're going to do a very, very loose wash, and we're going for messy here. We're going for colors and we're going for texture, so super loose. Our third step is we are going to start putting in our tree trunks and our foliage, but our paper is going to be damp, so that's going to diffuse out, which is totally fine because that's going to add to the atmosphere. Our fourth step is we're going to do more trees and foliage, and this one should stay sharper because hopefully our paper is more dry by then. And then we will put in our fireflies, the very last step. Okay. Perfect. I'm super excited for this because I really, truly just love this painting. So for the supplies, I'm going to be utilizing the basic colors that I like to use from month to month. I have Q Gold, Q Burnt Orange, Undersea Green, I have Phthalo, I have Indigo, and I have Cad Yellow and Bleed Proof White. But please use whatever colors that you have. If you need a more basic version, we're basically going to use yellow, orange, green, blue, blackish, and white. Okay. I have some various rounds at my disposal, ready to go. Okay. Are we ready to get to painting?
Should we do an oath?
We sure should.
All right, let's do it.
If you can raise your right hand and repeat after me. I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise to be kind to myself.
I promise not to compare my work.
I promise not to compare my work.
And I promise to have fun.
And I promise to have fun.
Thank you. I have my little 5x7 paper taped off. And yeah. You guys ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, first we're going to start with the sketch. So, pencil. If you don't have a pencil, I swear I just had a pencil.
They do disappear.
Oh.
Everything seems to disappear from that desk.
Yeah, here we go, but it's just not sharpened. Here we go. I'll just use this pencil. Okay. So when I do a rough sketch, basically I'm just going to lay out where I want things to be. The biggest things that I want to remember is I'm going to have a tree that's going to kind of come up here on the left. I'm going to have another larger tree that's going to come in on the right. And then I'm going to have a few other trees that are kind of making their way through the forest. So basically my ground is going to get higher as it goes deeper in. So it almost creates this sort of pathway within. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you can put a pathway then if that helps you, and then just kind of have your trees go around it. But basically what you want to remember is the trees that are closest to us, like these guys, they're going to be our thickest and our darkest trees, okay? Like that. And if you want to start putting in branches, you can. I usually don't. I usually like do branches off of vibes, but maybe sometimes sketching is nice because then you can be like, well, what is that thing? Don't like that. And you don't have to put it in. It's not a big deal.
People want to know that is not a watercolor pencil, is it?
This is, but that's only because that's the only pencil that was right by me. This is just a black watercolor pencil, but you can use a regular pencil. And if I had a regular pencil, that's what I would be using. Okay. And we're doing such loose washes that it doesn't really matter if it is a regular pencil or a watercolor pencil. It doesn't matter. Okay. So when you're putting your trees in, biggest thing to remember, the ones that are closest to us are going to be thicker. As we go further into the painting, the bottom of our trees are going to get higher, but don't have your trees go higher than like the bottom third of your painting, because then that's a really extreme path. That's like maybe a path that's going uphill. Does that make sense?
Got you. Yep.
Okay. Great. Now we get to have some fun. So I'm just going to take some water and loosely add some water here. Because I used a watercolor pencil, this is all bleeding out, but I'm not worried about it because I can just eyeball where things go. I'm going to start with some Q gold and some Q burnt orange. So yellow and orange is kind of like my base, okay? I'm going to have that go across the whole thing. And honestly, like the messier you can be, the better, truly. Like let go when you're painting this. Okay, while it's wet, I'm going to start grabbing some undersea green. Oh, also if you have a foliage brush, that's probably a good thing to use. Do I have my foliage brush right next to me? No, that's all right. So with some undersea green, I'm going to start to put that in. And you're just letting all the colors diffuse. They're just seeping, spreading out. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of phthalo and mix that with my undersea green. Just going to give me a little bit of a deeper green. And maybe a hint of phthalo just along the top. Just like maybe it's giving a hint to like maybe the sky going through it a little bit. And yes, this is loose.
Sarah Cray, please pause for 5 seconds. I'm going to try to switch to cell phone-based internet real quick.
Okay.
We're just going to give it a shot. Hold, please, everybody. This will glitch for 1 second. Should be good. You can continue. Let's see if it works any better. Go.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm basically mixing like a brown. So I have some Q coral. Oh, my screen cut out.
Yeah, it should have paused for a second. It should come back.
Okay, hue coral and some undersea green or some of that green. And I'm going to start putting in some browns. I'm going to be putting in the brown mostly around the ground. I'm going to try to avoid this kind of middle area a little bit so there's just a little bit of light that is kind of going through. Let's see, is that better?
It looks like it so far.
Okay, good job.
Well, let's not celebrate yet.
We're not there yet. Okay. And then I'm going to do another layer of undersea green. So you can see this is messy. This is a mess. But that's kind of what we want. Again, we're going for like really loose because the more kind of layers of textures and colors that we can get, the more dense the foliage is going to feel. And that's what we want. We want this to feel like super, super dense foliage. And so you just kind of keep on layering that wet on wet with colors and textures and things like that. Now, if you don't have a foliage brush, it's not the end of the world because you could basically take any round brush that you don't love, okay, and paint it on the tip of it. So I'm just taking, this is a Royal 6, which is like, these Royal brushes are like, I don't know, $1 or $2 or something. And I'm just going to pick up some paint. And when I put in my foliage, I'm just going to like do this. And you see how it's kind of creating this uneven texture, kind of like foliage. And so even if you have not made a foliage brush yet, you can still create that foliage-like texture. And if you have no idea what I mean by a foliage brush, is we've done a YouTube video where I show you how to make your own. That's on YouTube, you can find it. And I'm just gonna start kind of layering foliage along the edges. When I get towards the center of the foliage, I'm gonna change my color to more of a gold or a brown. So I'm gonna be picking up more of the Q gold, maybe some burnt orange. And sometimes we'll get like strong colors like that. That can be scary, but instead of being like, oh no, I messed it up, I'm just gonna say, that's cool, and keep on going. I'm just gonna spread that color a little bit more. Again, it's going to add to the overall feel. Let's do even more pathways there. And everything should still be pretty wet. Okay.
We have to move back, Sarah. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Here we go. You guys, we're going to pause again and go back to regular internet. Ready, set, go. Okay, I think we're back. Yep, it looks like we're back. Let's keep going. All right, guys, we tried everything.
Okay, so I'm just adding brown in along the bottom here. Now, when it comes to the top, this is up to you guys. You can let the top be like a blue color if you want to give a hint of the sky. I think I might add a little bit of indigo just to like have it be more night colored instead of like neon colored. I don't know. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. Okay. So this is where we're at right now. And you might be like, wow, this is kind of a hot mess. And to that I say, you're correct, but trust the process because we're going to get there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in my trees and my foliage. Now my paper is still damp. So that means when I put in those tree trunks and that foliage, they're going to kind of fuzz out And I'm going to be okay with that. I'm not going to stress too much about that. So I'm going to take my, I'm still just going to keep using this 6 here, but you can use any brush that you want. And we're going to mix a brown. There's 2 different ways that you can mix brown just using the colors that we have here. Is you can mix Q coral and undersea green, or you can mix lamp black and Q burnt orange, because brown is essentially dark orange. So just mix an orange and then add some black or black to it or something, and you'll get a brown. Okay. The other thing too is I'm going to add water to this mixture, because these trees that I'm about to put in that are kind of farther away from me need to be a lighter value than the ones that are going to be in my foreground. The trees in my foreground are going to be more like a really dark brown, closer to a black. So as long as all of the trees that go kind of further away are lighter, then we're good. And remember, your trees are going to get thinner and smaller as they make their way back. That's how we communicate there is depth in our painting, is by changing the size of our trees. Now, the reality is true also that like trees grow at different times. So if you have like a thicker tree in the background, that's not the end of the world, because maybe that tree is just older than the other trees around it. So it's not like this hard and fast rule, but it's just a little more perspective rule that we can use to help us.
I think all the issues have been sorted. Fingers crossed.
Oh, yay. Good job. And then with these trees that I've just kind of added and put in, I can add more foliage. And again, we want this foliage that we're adding here on these trees to be a little bit of a lighter value than the one we'll finish off with, which is going to be a really, really like dark value. So I'm just starting to kind of put it in. And then sometimes I like to go in and just kind of like smear the bottom of the trunk wherever that is. It just kind of grounds the tree. Okay. Let's add even more foliage. Boop, boop, boop.
Boop boops are actually the trade secret to make good foliage.
Now, exactly. So if you're not making the noises, make the noises. Also, let's say that you're going with the vibe and doing what I'm saying and being really like messy and layered and all of this stuff. And then all of the sudden your painting is super dark, like so much darker than you thought it was going to be. You can just rip off a clean piece of paper towel and just start to lift up some color here and there. Wherever it's still kind of damp, it's going to kind of pick up any excess color that it can. Or you can also wet a paper towel and try picking up color that way. See?
Nice.
But you don't, that's just if you lose your medium/light values. Okay. Now, depending on if your trees have like blended out or not, you might need to reshape them. At this point, we're kind of waiting for our painting to dry a little bit more, because now we're getting to the stage where we want things to stay put when we put them down. I'm going to add a couple more layers to my foreground here. Just like that. I don't know. I think it's a little bit scary to do this, but I like to live life on the edge. And so I'm going to grab some burnt orange. And let's just do like a strong burnt orange wash right here. Like, why not?
You rebel.
I know. And here's the thing, doing these like really strong washes of color can feel like really scary, but usually those types of like decisions that kind of feel like a gamble, they usually pay off. because who doesn't love more color? You know what I'm saying? Like, who doesn't love just like super bright, like orange or green? You know what I'm saying? It just makes it fun. Hi, Laura. Laura Jones just joined. Lori, it's so nice to see you. Lori, what came to our Let's Make Art watercolor
Oh, heck yeah, that was
workshop.
so fun. I've officially lost access to the chats, so it's just Sarah at this point.
Oh.
Technology is so fun. But
You lost access to the
I haven't tried to
comments?
fix it because the video is working now, so I'm just letting it go.
My video is definitely not working on Facebook. Oh, wait, it's because I'm not painting.
Oh, amazing.
Okay. Well, that was embarrassing. Let's keep going. So let's start to be just a little bit more intentional about the foliage marks that we're adding. I'm going to think about the overall shape of leaves. And they like to kind of grow in chunks, right? And I'm just using a really dark undersea green here. So this is undersea green. There's probably a tiny bit of phthalo in there. There's probably a tiny bit of Q burnt orange in there. Yeah, my video is working.
Your video is, your body is not.
My brain definitely is not here. Okay. Okay, now hopefully at this point you're able to see a little bit of depth within your painting. And I'm just going to lighten up the center just a little bit. Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to take my dark brown, make sure that I still have on my palette. Let's actually mix a little bit of Q coral in there just to get some, neutralize that green. And I'm going to kind of put in my tree trunks again because that first layer got lost. It's still there, but it's like really blended out light value. That's great. Those are our far away trees. Perfect. You did it wonderful. Now we're going to put in our mid-ground trees. So these ones, we want them to be a little bit of a darker value. They're not going to be the biggest tree, but they're not going to be the smallest one either. They're going to be right in between. And then this is where we're going to start lifting up our paintbrush and kind of letting there be gaps within our branches that we're drawing. So then it looks like there's foliage growing on top of those branches or those trees. And don't be afraid of a wonky tree. Trees are so wonky.
The only normal looking tree I've ever seen was a cell phone tower.
I will say that the only rule that I really try and hold on to when it comes to trees, and there are trees that do break this rule, but this is the one that helps me keep my trees from being as tree as they can be, is your trunk is always going to be the thickest part of the tree. And as your branches get further away from the tree, they are going to thin out. Okay. And then the next thing to think about, so keep that in mind. And then let's say we have a branch coming off of our main trunk, the thickness of that branch is always going to be thinner than the trunk area that it's sprouting out from. So if I were to have a branch coming out of this point of the tree, it needs to be thinner than this thickness. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So that, if you can keep that rule, and that's true all the way up the tree, that rule is true. So if you can keep that true, if you can honor that rule, I guess, and have them get thinner as I go up, then your tree is going to look like a tree, like no matter what. And also I like to have this, if you want it to feel like it's creating, what is this called? like a canopy,
Mhm.
then you're gonna have the trees angled towards together. If you want it to be more like you're just looking through a forest, you can have them go more up. And that's gonna be up to you. And then I'm just adding some branches that we're kind of seeing in between pieces of foliage. They're just thin lines. I'm not connecting them to anything. It's just kind of reminding the viewer that, yeah, there's branches there. There's things happening there.
The woods.
The woods, if you will. Okay. And let's do a couple more trees. And we still have our big ones to put in. Don't worry, don't forget about those. And then with these kind of sharper trees that we just put in, we can add a little bit of foliage just using that same kind of brown color. So I'm just kind of working my way around, adding some more foliage. And this foliage should stay a little bit more, like those marks are going to stay compared to the first time that we did this. Ah, it's looking good. You guys,
You're doing it, guys.
you're doing it. Also, think of like the ground of when you go hiking or something like that. Like there are tree trunks on the ground, there's rocks. Sometimes there's like a stream. Sometimes there's like twigs poking out. Like really allow yourself to not have a smooth area because it's not going to be smooth. There's going to be a lot of different things happening there. And so we can communicate that by allowing there to be different colors. So I have very obvious orange, I have like a tan, I have a brown, I have greens. You can do some dry brush texture. You can take like really thin lines and pretend like there's little twigs, whatever you want. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to put in my darker value trees and we're going to see how they do. And by see how they do, I'm going to see how much they bleed out when I put them in. So I'm going to take indigo and I'm going to take some burnt orange and mix that together. And that's going to give me like a really, really dark brown green. So I'm going to put in a nice thick
That's
tree
very
here.
dark.
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
Brave.
And what we can do too is like, let's say the value jump between this and this is too much, where you just go, whoa, like why did that get so dark all of a sudden? Then you can go back and you can just kind of like darken this midground tree a little bit more if you need to.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden they belong in the same world. But you're right, that did get really dark. So let's see if we can maybe add some like Q burnt orange or Q gold on top just to soften it a bit. And remember, when I kind of continue this tree up, I want to lift my paintbrush and allow there to be gaps for the foliage. Okay, we're going to do the same thing over here. Now this is going to be a nice thick one. So, and then if you, I mean, you guys can decide if you want there to be a lot of extra branches or not. That's up to you. And now we're going to start putting in some foliage that matches the value of the tree that we just put in. Because the foliage so far is all lighter compared to those tree trunks we just put in. So we need some foliage to match the darkest value in our trees. So I'm just going to start putting that in. And again, if you don't have a foliage brush, you just use a round brush and just go on the tip. It's not going to create as cool of textures as a foliage brush, but it gets the job done. You can also paint on top of the branches. Like let's say you forgot to like lift up your brush or something like that. You can just add leaves right on top. As long as it's the same value or a little bit of a darker value, it's going to cover it. And then if we want it to feel like things are kind of like coming in on the sides, I'm going to have some foliage from like a tree off to the side that's kind of like poking its way in. Okay. Ooh, that's looking really good. I think I need to define my midground a tiny bit more. So I just have some brown pulled up. Let's activate this kind of space right here. And when I say activate the space, that means that we're going to put something there. But if you kind of like that look of it being kind of more like nothing's growing there, cool, leave it. This is your painting and you're the artist. And at any moment while I'm teaching or while I'm doing this, you can just do your own thing. And I respect it. I'm not gonna try and convince you to do exactly what I'm doing. Let's put some foliage in there that matches that value. Okay.
Beautiful.
That feels really good. I think I'm going to do one more layer of dark foliage. Again, the colors I'm using, indigo and Q-Burnt orange. And you can get to a place where it's just like there's so much going on that you can't tell which foliage belongs to which tree. That's not bad. Think about looking into a forest. Like that happens to our eyesight where we're like, wait, what belongs where? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I love it when that happens because I'm like, great, that means I can be really like playful and kind of crazy with where all the stuff I'm putting. And it's true. It's true to what we're seeing, you know? Okay. And then let's just do like a hint of a few more trees just kind of coming up that way. Yeah. All right. Are you guys about ready to do our fireflies?
Yes.
So we just did like step 1 through 4. Good job. We're doing it. I actually, right before we get into the fireflies, I'm going to take some brown and just using a dry brush, I'm just going to add a little bit of texture here along the sides. There we go. Okay. Now, for the fireflies, the process is as follows. We are going to take cad yellow and do yellow dots all around, different sizes. And then when those dry, we're going to do just white dots in the center, and that's how you create the look of an illuminated firefly. Okay? Now, I will say that you're like, Sarah, how can I put yellow on top of such a dark painting? Which is a good question. That's a great question. I'm going to use cadmium yellow, which has a level of opaqueness to it that like Q gold doesn't have, which allows me to kind of just like plop it places. So that's how I'm going to do it. But I definitely want to make sure that my painting is dry before I do this. So I'm taking my heat at craft tool and just drying it.
Surprised every time, but how much the paint color changes when it dries.
Yeah. It is kind of funny, isn't it? Okay. So I'm going to take cad yellow and I'm going to start putting fireflies in. So I'm doing just straight yellow. And if you guys painted June with us, then this should feel pretty familiar because we did a little firefly field. And you can have it go up into the trees. And it's the same kind of rule. The fireflies that are closest to us are going to be larger. And then the ones that are further away from us are going to be tiny. And there's definitely a magic feeling to fireflies. Like when you see them in person, you're like, what? So allow there to be a lot of fireflies because it's just going to make your painting feel more magical.
I loved on 4th of July. We did like teeny tiny fireworks at our house and it confused all the fireflies. They're like, is it our turn?
There were so many.
Yeah. They're like, we're lighting up too.
It was so fun. And then the kids stayed up late trying to catch them. And I'm like, these are good memories, you know?
Premium.
Okay. So there's the first step to our fireflies. Now I'm going to take bleed proof white. Oh, this is a great question. Monique says, if you don't have cad yellow, couldn't you water down some bleed proof white and tint it to yellow to use it for a glow? Yes, absolutely. Genius. Love it. Also, if you have like yellow gouache, that works great too. Okay, now I kind of want to make sure that my yellow is dry so that my white stays white and bright on top of the yellow. Now I'm only going to be adding the white dots on the largest circles of fireflies because think about it. Like when fireflies are closer to you or when a light is closest to you, it's brighter and then the light fades as it goes away. So then the really small fireflies, we're not going to see that bright whiteness because it's not going to be as bright as the firefly that's right next to us. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Melanie Davis says she finally splurged on a Ranger heated craft tool, and it's amazing.
I'm
And I
so
would like
glad
to
you
say,
did.
yeah, it's pretty much the only reason we can do our job.
I'm not kidding. It's true. I also cut down, maybe I should throw away my Ranger because I've cut down on snack time quite a bit since getting it because I don't need to like walk away and grab a snack anymore because I can just try it.
Tragic. I snack enough for the two of us.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing your service.
I do not have a Ranger heated craft tool.
Okay, and I'm just doing little white dots in those yellow areas. Now, if you want a further sense of glow, you can take a tiny bit of bleed proof white and a tiny bit of yellow. And then you're going to have like this kind of in-between color. So it's basically going to go from like white to light yellow to bright yellow. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Anne says she hasn't seen fireflies in years. I hadn't seen them. I'd never seen them in real life till we moved to Missouri.
Yeah, we don't have them in California. So
They're really cool.
moving to Missouri and being able to enjoy them every year is just something I love. And then remember, you guys have a paper towel always, right? So if maybe you do a firefly, you don't like it, you can paint over it, you can lift it out, you can adjust it. Okay, it's not the end of the world. And this is just one further thing, if you want, is sometimes we can add warmth to the painting by looking at the really big fireflies and seeing what's closest to them and then doing like a light value highlight on that. So this firefly that's close to this tree, I'm going to pretend that it's creating this like glow on the tree. And I'm going to do a little bit of like a yellow or an orange highlight by the leaf or by the tree or whatever that firefly is really close next to. But that's just, I like doing little things like that. Anytime I can like add illumination or warmth to a painting, I want to do it.
Melanie said, you don't need any more Oreo Thins. The fun fact is she actually depleted the Midwest warehouses of Oreo thins.
I can't find them anywhere.
We're kidding.
I'm
They're
kidding.
here, but she
I'm
has
kidding,
eaten a
they're
lot
here.
of them.
I have eaten a lot of them, and I'm telling you, I've cut down because my heated craft tool, and it's really not okay.
We need a warm it craft tool so it works half as fast. It still works.
Genius. And I can just like let it, it's almost like a hair dryer,
Yeah.
but for my painting, I could just sit my painting underneath it for a bit, go get a snack.
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
We should make that.
We should make that.
We'll just like hot glue, you know those like blow dryer diffusers for like curly
Yes.
hair. We'll just hot glue like 10 together so it's a big diffuser.
Okay, and I'm just touching up my fireflies. Sometimes I like to take water and just kind of blend out the yellow around them as well. That also just creates like a transparency or a lighter value around it, that which creates more of a glow.
Gabby says 3 o'clock cookies.
Oh, yes. Gabby.
Gabby, you get it.
Gabby, you get it.
Gabby was also at our retreat.
Gabby was also at the retreat. She's awesome. They were all awesome. That truly was I mean, like, I couldn't have asked for a better group to have as like my first retreat that I like hosted.
Mhm.
Okay, very last step. If you want. Oh my gosh.
What?
Monique grew up in Citrus Heights.
No way.
Yes.
Sarah's from Antelope.
I'm like from Antelope, like I went to Center High School. I was right there. We played Citrus Heights in soccer. Right? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm a forest kid.
Okay,
From
I'm
Placerville.
gonna splatter a little bit of white at the top just for stars. If you like that thing, that kind of thing. Try not to get it like in the bottom part though. We want to keep it along the top.
Said maybe we shouldn't do the blow dryer thing. We'll burn the place down.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm like eating my third bag of Oreos and then all of a sudden there's like smoke and I'm like, oh.
Paper's dry.
Okay, that's our painting. I accidentally got a lot of bleed proof white into my dark value leaves. So I'm just gonna cover those up really quick. Great.
Excellent.
And that, Bella Vista. Oh my
So funny.
gosh. I feel like I went to Bella Vista for something. Why? Did you play Bella Vista?
Yeah,
I
you
think
went
I
to my
did.
soccer game.
I think I went. Oh my gosh. Michael and I were in high school. I was hopelessly in love with him. And I, like, anytime could have a chance to see him, I would. And so his high school was playing Bella Vista High School.
Yeah.
And so I like made my parents drive me out there so I could watch him play.
I got carded out of that game. I was not a great soccer player.
Okay, and then we'll do our reveal.
Ooh, the good stuff.
The good stuff. Now, before I reveal it, I'm going to wipe the edges of all this extra paint. Okay.
Wait, I'm going to zoom in. There we go. Yeah.
So when you remove your tape, you want to remove it slowly away from your painting. The reason why you want to do it away is so you don't tear into it if it does tear, but Holbein soft tape for the most part, it's not really a tearing type of tape.
Consensus is that you are not hopelessly in love because it seemed to have worked out well.
At the time, it felt hopeless, but you're right. It did work out.
Look at that clean edge.
And there is our painting for Liam. So I'm so excited that you guys are creating these art hugs for them. And their address is in the July printed goods. So if you purchase the July projects, the Let's Make Art Matter with the address is there. You can still do this and send a card even if you did not purchase July, because we want everybody to do this. This is such a great moment just to like create something for someone else. And you can just email our customer happiness team. That is hello@letsmakeart.com. And we will give you their mailing address so then you can send a card to Liam. And again, remember, Liam is starting their senior year. They're thriving academically. They've been taking advanced classes. They love music and art. And next year they're going to look into music therapy, which is just amazing. So we just really wanted to send an art hug to Liam, wish them luck on their journey, and let them know that they're perfect just the way that they are. So thank you for joining us. Now, two things. One, if you guys have someone that you want to nominate for Let's Make Art Matter, we have a whole nomination form. You can fill that out, and then we choose someone every single month. So that's on our website. You can also email our customer service if you can't find it. The other thing I want to say is the August reveal is going to happen next week. That's going to be the YouTube tutorial that releases next week, okay?
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a hint. Oh, this is my journal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my good morning journal that I get from Bella Classica.
Okay. Interesting.
That's all I'm going to say about that. So tune in next Wednesday to see the projects and see what we're doing. I'm so excited about it. And then just a friendly reminder, the holiday card making supplies are open for pre-order. You have until the 31st to pre-order those. I made a whole video about all of that information that if you want to look at it, you can. But I just wanted to give you just a little friendly reminder. I think that's it. You guys have been fantastic and patient while we've been dealing with this internet thing.
We're going to get this sorted.
We're going to get this figured out, but we appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.